Option 4 meets legislative requirements, but it also introduces additional operational costs and may impact visitor experience. And option 5 in the report is to not proceed with the tender and to redesign a more affordable option. Within the report, details on why soft shade was excluded from the design requirements originally and the overall risks of soft shade in the zoo environment. So yeah, for your consideration, Council, I'm happy to take questions or comment.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Councillors, questions to the officer's report? If there's no questions, there have been a number of on-site meetings and discussions that have been held over the last couple of weeks. But we do have a question. Councillor Mathers.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Maybe directed to either yourself or the CEO, I'm not quite sure. I just noticed that in option 5 where it says that the alternative resolution might be that council resolves to redesign a lesser cost shade solution. Just in regards to that option, I'm a little bit concerned with the wording of that when it comes to redesign. I understand this is just a suggestion of the wording, but that's suggesting that we would go and spend money with architects, engineers, that type of thing, whereas I would be thinking that we could maybe just go out to the market and see what off-the-shelf products would possibly be available at a lot lesser price without having to involve consultants and so forth and have to use ratepayers' monies to go back to engineers and consultants.
There would no doubt there will be a cost because from what I understand, even if you could get an off-the-shelf product, you would still need an engineer to actually certify, so there will be some costs expended through professional consultancies. So I think if you look back up into some of the strategic issues within the report there, I think that discussion, we nearly need to have that as well, around some type of design guideline for the zoo. You've got the zoo and botanic master plan, but you don't have a design guideline which you had for the CBD framework. It actually had a design guideline that gave people, or gave officers, gave consultants some guidance around what council likes or what would council like to have within those areas. So there's some work to be done there, and that would have to be probably something external as well. But I'd say there will have to be money expended, no doubt, on an option because it's not a really off-the-shelf product that you're going to be buying there anyway.
Mr Mayor, just another question. Thanks very much for that, Mr CEO. I understand what you're saying there, but I suppose the point I was trying to make with that is that, if we did come across something that was an off-the-shelf product, whether it be cantilever umbrellas or something like that, the majority of that is being, mass-produced. That already has engineering. It's already engineered to that wind rating, to the way that it's bolted to the ground. So as long as we followed those types of regulations, I would have thought the manufacturer's engineering would have been sufficient.
Yeah, but there would still be cost associated with ground conditions and geotechnical and all of that. So there will be money expended no matter what you do there. It won't be $0. It'll be somewhere above $10 to somewhere above that. And I think the officers, as we move through it, will be wanting to keep that limited as well. That what we do spend on it. So they're very, very clear on that. So.
Mr Mayor, thanks very much. Thanks again, Mr CEO. So I suppose, and I understand where you're coming from there as well, Evan, but I suppose the point that I was trying to make with it was the fact that I just didn't want to see us rushing out to engage engineers and architects again to see if they could just manufacture something that was less expensive without seeing if there was any off-the-shelf products. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Councillor Mathers. So I think there will have to be a discussion with Council before we move out into any type of, to pin down a scope of what we're actually after, have the scope, and then we can take it from there. So no doubt there'll be more discussions to be had prior to us going out.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Vieira. Councillor Latcham.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Yeah, just a comment, just to say, I am concerned about the officer's recommendation. It is a lot of money, and I'm not sure how the ratepayers will feel about that. There are other options. There are 5 options in total.
Is it a question, Councillor, or a statement? Just got to be careful with not getting into debate.
Okay.
If it's a...
Won't get into debate, but yeah, just expressing my concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, questions to the officer? If not, could I seek a councillor mover and a seconder for an option as if if it's different to the officer's recommendation. Councillor Rutherford.
Yes, Mr Mayor, given the discussions, we've been working on this one for quite some time, and you know, there is absolutely no doubt whatsoever, and people would have noticed that from the site inspection, that we need shade, shade for the welfare of the animals, but we also need shade for visitors to the zoo and for our employees as well. I don't believe the option 1 is going to fly, and I think given that this is probably one of a start of a few that may need to be looked at, we need to go back a step and look at what different options are available, whether that's umbrellas, whether it's shade sails, and just see the costings, the options, and go from there. So for that reason, I move that Council adopt option 5 of the report.
Be happy to second that.
And seconded Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. We'll just get the resolution there. Okay, councillors, that's okay, councillors. Councillor Rutherford has moved, and we have a second, Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Councillor Kirkland, you wish to record against? Did you want to speak against? No. There's no. I'd gone over it. Sorry, before I got before it went. Did you wish to record your vote against? No, that's. Okay, councillor. Motion's carried. Thank you very much, Aaron. We'll move on to next agenda item. 11.4, the final management letter for the Rockhampton Regional Council 22-23, and I'll ask Marnie to present that report. Good morning, Marnie.
Good morning, Mr Mayor, and good morning, councillors. So before council today is the final management letter from our 22-23 audit. It was, I guess, a long time in coming, given that we had finalised the audit last year. We were awaiting further advice from the Queensland Audit Office in relation to the finalisation of the audit, which was mostly around the decisions around the fee for the final audit fee. So that once that was resolved, we received the report or the final management letter. So you will note, councillors and Mayor, that the report identified new internal control deficiencies which have action dates scheduled by the close of the 23-24 financial year, which were listed in the report. And it also identified a financial reporting issue, medium risk, which is to be actioned by the end of October this year, around property, plant and equipment note disclosures, and previously reported matters which still require attention with an action date scheduled by the close of this financial year as well, in relation to the capitalisation of capital work in progress and general data security. The other matter that I just wanted to make mention of was in relation to that audit fee. So council was quoted an audit fee of $182,500 when we signed the external audit plan early last calendar year. However, this fee increased to $196,500 due to mainly the work that was involved in relation to the audit of the capital work in progress balances and prior period errors that were reported in our statements. So that took additional work on the part of the Queensland Audit Office and also the contract auditors TNR, which resulted in an uplift in that fee. So unless there's any questions, the recommendation is that the report be received by council.
Thanks very much, Marnie. Councillors, questions to that audit report? Has been presented as suggested to the council table. I'm happy to move as recommended. Council, seek a seconder. Seconded Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. If there's no questions to the officer, I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, Marnie. Councillors, nil notices of motion, nil questions on notice. urgent business and questions, councillors. We have Councillor Wickerson, presentation.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just after, I think, our last meeting, I went to a presentation. It was the last meeting of Rotary Club of Rockhampton North, who are finally, after 26 years, stopping their involvement in the Rocky Swap, which is just a massive event for Rockhampton. If you've ever been there, there's thousands and thousands of stallholders, which they fundraise from, and also other things like food and beverage and whatever else. But they've given back multiple millions of dollars back to the community through, I think, Flying Doctor Service. And if you can think of a charity in Rockhampton, they've probably given money to it, which is good. Council's involvement, of course, is we sponsor the Rocky Swap, which is a very a good thing to do, and Council were acknowledged at the presentation. So I just wanted to pass you the certificate that they presented on the night.
Okay, thanks very much, Councillor Wilson. Also, echo those comments, Councillor Wickerson, the hard work and dedication by a band of volunteers that are part of the North Rockhampton Rotary Club, and the dedicated work that they've been able to undertake over those many, many years. I believe that there is another management structure happening with the Rocky Swap. Keen to understand what that means, but to the millions of dollars that have been dedicated back to the community on behalf of the dedicated band of volunteers, it's a credit to them and the work that they've done over the years. Councillor Kirkland.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I was hoping to take the opportunity, as this is effectively my last meeting, to address the table, my colleagues and Mr CEO, Mr Chair, all of the executives who are here today and those who are online, and all of the broader community of Rockhampton Regional Council, and of course the residents of Rockhampton, to say a very heartfelt thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the decision-making process of the table at Rockhampton Regional Council. It's been an honour, it's been a privilege, it's been a learning journey. I'm very happy with a lot of the things that I've been able to present to the table, argue for at the table, and I've learnt a great deal from every single person that I have mentioned, and somewhat sad. Thank you very much. And I do hope for the constituents of Division 7 that I have done you proud. And certainly for all of those people that I have had dealings with that are peripheral to but connected to Rockhampton Regional Council in my role as the Portfolio Chair for Water and Environment, many different organisations, Fitzroy Partnership for River Health, the Fitzroy Basin Association, so many others. I want to extend my thanks to them also, and to close out today by congratulating my colleagues and those who will be coming on board in the new council term. Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Kirkland, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge the work and dedication of your tenure over this time. You've always appreciated your thoughtfulness and the attention to the detail. Always focus has been on the community and representing the division and the broader region. Here, you have also been dedicated as a representative on the water portfolio and environment sustainability portfolios as well. Applied real commitment to the understanding of what the decisions will make for the council in the mean to long term. Council and also the community is better off today because of the work of your tenure. Thank you, Donna. Councillors, I'd just like to again reflect on as our last meeting for the term of this council and the role that we've all undertaken during that time. We've had some challenges, but we've had some successes as well, all while there's been a cost of living pressures on our residents. pressure on the budget while delivering the services that our community expects and deserves, all while trying to deliver new projects. Councillors, you've all worked really hard and constructively in ways to represent our community and always keeping the community front of mind. We really appreciate the support that we have received from you, and I do as the Mayor of the Rockhampton Regional Council. I believe it's been a team effort and one that everyone's taken any decision that we've come across to the best of their representation while we've been doing that. What we've achieved over that time we can really be proud of, and that's to do with our roads, parks, community infrastructure. I'll just name a few of those things that we've been able to secure funding for, and the main one being the Mount Morgan pipeline. We have changed an opportunity for the Mount Morgan community to have a sustainable water supply for years to come by securing over $70 million in grant funding to allow us to deliver that project, which is going to be a real game changer for the Mount Morgan community. $25 million for a Glenroy Crossing Bridge, which is again going to open up the food bowl of the Fitzroy there to allow transport and what we can see with agriculture and horticulture in the years to come. Meanwhile, there are other announcements that have come during that time. Rural Funds Management of planting over 800,000 macadamia nut trees off the Rookwood Weir project, Morton Co with their feedlot, Heritage Minerals with the Mount Morgan mine, and also the Alliance, opening of the Alliance hangar and the jobs that will come with that. Meanwhile, there's a $1.7 billion project with the Rockhampton Ring Road, which will see huge injection into the local economy for the next 6 years to 7 years, and a Fitzroy to Gladstone $1 billion pipeline that's undertaking as well. All while we've been setting the foundations and the blueprint for our future and for our residents' future with a number of our critical infrastructure upgrades with the North Rockhampton Sewage Treatment Plant, major upgrades to and refurbishment and augmentation to that facility, which will see a 25,000 extra growth for the North Rockhampton area and the Rockhampton City. The Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, millions of dollars spent on that project as well, securing the water supply and also catering for further demand in that space as well. The solar plant out at the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant, it's just about to be plugged in and turned on after many years of hard work, but that will see the electricity costs coming down operating that facility, which is one of the council's largest users of electricity. I'd just like to thank the CEO and the council staff for all your patience during the term. It's been one that we've all had some challenges with some of the funding reduction in grant funding, but also with as we work through our budgets and understanding the pressures that we have with cost of living increasing in materials and costs to provide that service, and how we all been understanding giving a little bit while trying to achieve what we've been able to do over that term. Councillors, I'd just like to congratulate each and every one of you for your work with myself as the Mayor through those 3 years as of this term. I know there's been some challenges in that space as well, but really do need to hold your head up high, and I believe it's an indication as we head to the polls, with over half of the council team being elected unopposed, which is a real vote of commitment on behalf of the council. The councillors that are stepping up to go to the polls, good luck, and wish you all the very best. I'm sure you'll do very well with your dedication and history on what you've done for the local area. And finally, Councillor Kirkland, as you leave us for this term and head on to bigger aspirations, again, just like to thank you for your time on the council and the work that you've undertaken during that time as well. So on that note, again, just like to thank each and every one of you. Our community is served better by the representation that you've been able to do over this term of the council, so thank you all. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Fisher.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for that opportunity. I'd like to also thank all my colleagues around the table. It has been probably one of those trying terms in many ways. It almost sort of the movie, the good, the bad and the ugly. We saw it all. And from a role of Deputy Mayor, I served 2 mayors, as well as had those pineapple moments somewhere in between, which will probably haunt me for the rest of my life. But I think we all work together for the benefit of our community. And that community there, I think, has seen just what we've been able to achieve. Those moments there where the loss of the federal assistance grants. Many people in the community may not realise just how hurtful that was. And I still probably have lost respect for one of the former local government people that I always held up high, who was part of that decision to take that money from Rockhampton. But in moving on, how the Mayor and yourselves were able to still keep projects happening even though we've lost that enormous amount of money in our budget each year. And I think that was something that has always been a strength, because when the going gets tough, we always banded together to work together for the city. I'd also like to mention the airport has always been a passion. It's something there that I have loved to be part of, and during this term we have sort of seen some great changes. Seeing the increase of airport usage is great. The increase of airlines that are coming in and destinations, as well as after so much hard work over several years to see the Alliance hangar operational and people starting to be employed. So from a chair of an airport to have those opportunities, that's really great. But there's been so many achievements that we have done as a council. And when you're out in the streets and you just see some of those small projects, big projects get all the media, but some of those small ones that we've worked together to deliver. And I think that that's where we have really achieved. And without going, I had so much more I was going to say, but without going on too much, I have really enjoyed the opportunity to serve you, Mr. Mayor, as Deputy Mayor, to work with the councillors, and to actually see us work as a group to actually make Rockhampton a better place. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil. So just before I wrap up, Councillor Kirkland, I'd like to invite you to have a little party event on behalf of all. Councillors, that brings us to the end of the term on council for our last council meeting. So thank you for your attendance and your work over the term. I'll close the meeting and we then move into a briefing session. Yep. Thank you.